Alright, today I am looking at the second of 3 of the fitness bands from this company. I have a previous one that did basically everything this one does, but it also had the function of a heart rate monitor, and that was pretty cool and it worked pretty well. I was actually quite pleased with that, and I did another one from another company a few weeks before that. I was quite pleased with it as well. This one, however, I have to say, as a whole, I'm not super happy with this one, and I probably didn't use this one as actively as the others, and a big reason for that is the app that you use for a smart bracelet is going to be a major, if not the most important factor in deciding whether you do or don't use it to a large degree. Of course, there's some other aspects. So let me go kind of quickly through the list of things I dislike about this, or the discrepancies, issues that I found with it, and then let's talk about a couple of things that's kind of good about it as well. So, and some of these are minor and they're not going to bother as many people. For me, I mean, I'm not trying to be picky about it, but I'm just being honest about what I do and don't like. So it comes with 2 bands, which is cool, but this band is a camo type style, and this is, well, let me go ahead and take this off. I've had this on, it's going on a week now. I always try to get 1 week minimum usage before I make a decision and really talk about these, so I at least have an opportunity to experience the usage. So I don't care for the way the band narrows. I'd rather it just be consistent all the way down. I think this has a more feminine look to it when it narrows down like that. It becomes very skinny, but it's unisex, so there's no sexual orientation on who can or can't wear this, so that's not a big deal. It does secure very well. I never had it, when I was wearing this non-stop, I never had it pop loose from 1 or 2, and if it did, this portion will help to keep it from just automatically being falling off and lost. So the bands, both of them, a little bit of change on that I would prefer personally. So that's just being a little picky. The charger's proprietary. It basically, this piece pops out like that. And you have the 2 contact points, and you place that in the charger just like that. So it looks good and it works fine, that's great. But my problem with this is, if you lose this, you can't just plug it up like you can some of the others that just have the protruding USB portion that sticks off of the actual main unit. So that's kind of a potential problem if you happen to misplace the adapter for charging it. The other thing about charging is there's no red light that goes off when it's finished charging, like some or a lot. So there's no visual indicator for charging without touching the screen and looking at the battery status. A little bit of an issue I have with that. This is the box it comes in. Has a little bit of detail on the back, but it's in Chinese mostly, so I can't really read a lot of it. But it's like a little gift box, so if you're giving that to someone as a gift, that's cool. The instructions are fine. They're adequate and they're useful, but what I don't like is it shows that rain is okay, hand washing is okay, no shower, no swim, no scuba diving, obviously. And I'm not sure what this is, but it looks like a finger, water and dirt maybe. I don't know. So whatever this is, you're not supposed to do it apparently. But my issue with this is, on the listing for this bracelet, it shows or states that you can swim and shower and things. So there's some discrepancy on what you can and can't do. Most people are going to utilize what they see on the web, I think, more than the manual, so I treated it as such. Wash dishes, I washed my hands, which I do a lot, and I showered, and this had no problems. I can't say anything about swimming. I'm not into swimming, and I haven't scuba dived since forever, for a long time. But other than that, some other things about it, a lot of these, when you're wearing this, the orientation is like this. This one gives you the orientation like this, so as you raise your wrist, it sits like this. You're able to read it. I love that aspect. It makes it a lot simpler and a lot easier to see it quickly in a glance. The Bluetooth connectivity was fine with my phone. Anytime I tried to synchronize it, you open the app, it automatically synchronizes with itself. It connects and then syncs So that's great. I like that aspect. A lot of these have wrist sense, or the option to where you raise your wrist upward to view it and it automatically illuminates the screen. That's good and bad depending on what you like. The good about that is, of course, you can do that and you can see it and you ain't got to touch it. But the bad is it will make the battery die, because there's going to be times when you're moving, sleeping, or awake, that's going to activate it and it's going to kill the battery. So this thing has phenomenal battery life. It's been about a week. It's today, you know, is going to be a week, and it's at like 60%. So that's really, really impressive. So in that regard, it is great, because 60% after a week, and most are somewhere in the probably 30% at the most or less. So this is a phenomenal battery life. I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera. Let me see if I can make it a little darker. That should help some. So you can kind of see some of the different screens. If you basically just touch it at the bottom down here, you can kind of see the different screens as it goes through. So that's all basically I have to say about the bracelet that I can think of at the moment. Now, probably my biggest complaint is going to be related to the app. Hopefully you can make this out. But we've got the calorie, steps, and kilometers, the percentage of goal, and it's just after midnight, so everything's reset on this, so there's nothing showing as far as that, because it's kind of restarting. And then if we swipe up, you kind of get a chart, so you know that's not too bad, and you can go through the different days and such. At the bottom, you of course have your motion detection aspect as far as your steps and everything, calories that we were just looking at here, and then you have your sleep. Now this has a chart here, and it has your delta, deep sleep, your light sleep, and your wake time, and it's bad, normal, and well. Now my problem with this is I don't think this band operates in quite the same fashion, because when you set this app up originally, you kind of tell it when you intend to go to bed and when your waking hours. So I think it's more based off of the setting that you select, as opposed to some of the others that really like literally sense the movement and gauge based on that. So the other ones seem to do a much better job. If I happen to doze off and I don't know until I've woken up that I dozed off, and I wake up in the middle of the morning, I can look at the app once I synchronize the data, and I can see what time I fell asleep, which is really, to me, that's one of my favorite aspects of these fitness trackers, because you know, sleep monitoring and tracking. I don't feel like this does as good a job of that. Over here you've got me, and you've got your goal, your battery, again 60%, and then it's got lock band over here. You got the help, you got your profile, call reminder, message reminder, smart alarm clock, remote camera. I don't care about that, but if you wanted to control the camera on your phone from your wrist, you could do so. A lot of those now have that. Touch vibration, I kind of like to get that tactile feedback. You got daytime. I did not mean to hit that button. Select language. And this is where you can set daytime here. The watch tracks your activity during this time. The remaining time will be sleep time. No longer records steps, it just monitors your sleep. So that's, like I said, where I have more of a problem. I feel like I'm telling it when I'm going to do things, and that doesn't automate the process like the others from what I've seen. If we hit done, it saves language and about. So there's not a whole lot going on here. This thing has a pretty good vibration. The alerts on this one I'm also a little disappointed about, because they all are pretty generic. You don't really know specifically, like on the others it'll say chat head for a Facebook Messenger, for example. You'll see a phone icon. You know, you'll see the person who's texting you. You'll see some specifics that directly relate to what's going on. With this one, you pretty much just know something happened, but without looking at your phone, you're not fully aware of that. So that's not very cool in my you know, in my opinion. And then with profile, you got male, female, age, height, weight, you know, you set all that stuff up, your metric and imperial, so you can do your measurements. So I mean, that's pretty much it. But again, to me, the app is not that great. It's also, I think, I don't know how well you guys can see it. I'm hoping you're able to see enough of this. But the colors chosen, the fonts are very, very small. The colors are very light, sort of a pastel. Really difficult to see. I'm blind in one eye, so that makes it more of a challenge for me with this, where I don't have that problem so much with the other apps. I think this is called Smart Movement, this app. So hopefully they'll update that and that'll improve things. So there's a lot of things with this tracker and the app and just everything, the documentation, I mean, every aspect of this unit could use work, in my opinion. The best thing about this, if you don't mind touching it to wake it up, and if you don't mind the app with the way that it's designed and the way that it functions with this band, then this might be perfect for you if you're not one that likes to charge it very often, because this is one of the best, if not the best, that I know of. I probably have about 7 activity trackers. It's probably the best battery life I've seen. Smart watches, I probably have about 7 or 8 of those, and this is probably the best I've seen in battery life. So that part is phenomenal, but it's also because it doesn't do things the way the others do, and I think that's a limiting factor. So anyway, that's pretty much my opinion of this. Again, there are others from this company. There's another one coming up. I'm the most excited about it because it does blood pressure and heart rate, and since I check my blood pressure regularly during dialysis treatments, then I'm going to be able to kind of gauge the accuracy, I hope, over the course of a week, and kind of see where that falls. And previous model from this company, which you can find in my other videos, and maybe if I remember I can link it up for you guys. That one actually did a really good job, and again, the one prior to that from another company did a great job. But I've got 3 of these from this particular company, and this one, of the 3, I'm just going to have to say it does not get my vote, my approval, my recommendation at all for what that means to you. So hopefully I've given you something to think about, consider. If you want to find out more or read more about this particular item and see some more information that maybe I didn't go over that you have questions about, you can look on the Amazon listing for other reviews, questions and answers, and of course descriptions and such. That'll be linked up below the video. Feel free to check that out. And other than that, thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful information in making a decision on whether you would or would not want this particular unit. And check out the other units. I think you'll probably be happier if this doesn't sound like it's going to meet your criteria. Okay? So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.